In the last video, I talked about two amazing ways that you can read yourself to language mastery: devour literature and read up on your interests, passions, and goals. Today I'm going to talk about four more great ways to not only improve your reading in your target language, but to use reading to advance your fluency as best as possible. So way number 3, be a news junkie. That is, be a news junkie in your target language. This is actually a tip that's going to help not only your fluency, your proficiency in your target language, but also for you to become or maintain a cosmopolitan, broad worldview on current events. Nowadays, paradoxically, we have so many news sources available to us. Just a click of our mouse, and we can read from an endless array of news sources. Yet, people have become more and more isolated in what are called filter bubbles, these ideological bubbles and ways of seeing the things that are happening in the world, because people limit themselves to a set number of news sources, and worse, allow the Google and Facebook algorithms to feed them news. So instead, take initiative. Look for great news sources from the countries where the language that you're studying is spoken, and make those one of, if not your primary source of news. Okay, way number 4, change the language settings. So this is simple. It's a hack, let's say. Get your computer operating system, your cell phone in particular, and any devices and softwares that you can, and change the language settings, put them to display in the language that you're studying. Now, this is not going to make all the difference in the world and bring you fluency on its own, but it will make small differences that are going to add up, especially in 3 ways. In number 1, it's going to improve the quality of your language immersions. Because let's say you're having a conversation class, but you have something urgent you need to check on your phone or on your internet browser. Well, if it's in your native language, that's going to spring a leak in your immersion. It's going to detract from it. Whereas if it's in the language that you're studying, then it's actually going to enhance your immersion. It's going to keep your brain creating these interconnected neural pathways in the language that you're learning, which is what you want, right? Number 2, it's just getting you an extra couple minutes a day in your target language, and that adds up. 1 minute a day is 6 hours in a year, so you can see how it does add up. Okay, and third of all, you're gonna start getting a mental vocabulary for things in your target language, because you're gonna make little small decisions every day and getting small messages on your phone, on your computer, and so forth in your target language, and that's gonna help you begin to think in your target language. Okay, way number 5 to read yourself to language mastery, and that is just Google it. So, I often remember when I was a young kid and we had maybe with my brother or with a friend, we had a debate about some point of fact. Well, after getting heated up and debating it for several minutes, we'd end up just giving up. Everyone was sure, both sides were sure they were right, and there was no way to prove it, to really get to the bottom of it, unless there was somebody you could ask, or somebody willing to go to the library and research and document what the actual answer was. Well, nowadays, a 10-second Google search generally clears up the point, right? And we do this kind of thing all the time. Every day we're curious about something, we hear about something, we want to understand it better. And in fact, some of the most effective people I know in different lines of work are those that remember to do this. Anytime you want to learn how to do something, you want to do something a bit more efficiently, you Google it, right? So why not use that power of search engines in the language that you're studying? Next time you want to Google something, Google it in your target language. Now, this is really a subset of recommendation number 2, which is to read up on your interests, passions, and goals. But it's, we spend so much time online nowadays, I felt it merited its own special mention. Way number 6, combine reading with listening. So we're going to get more into the whole listening aspect of things in a couple posts from now when I delve into listening as one of the most important and useful skills to train, right? But I want to talk now about combining reading and listening. This can be very powerful, but you have to know how to do it. So I'm going to talk about 4 ways, just to exemplify, 4 important ways that you can combine reading and listening. Number 1, audiobooks. Audiobooks are just a tremendous tool in language study. So what you can do is you can read a book and then listen to it, but you can also, especially when you're at an intermediate level and you have some trouble just listening to an audiobook on its own and having good comprehension, you can read along with a book as you listen to the audiobook. Number 2, read and study up on lyrics to songs as you listen to them. It's powerful. Okay, number 3 is to watch movies or series with subtitles that match precisely. This is tricky because usually subtitles do not match the audio very well. And so watching movies, generally speaking, you want to do it without subtitles. Because if you do it with subtitles, you're basically going to be reading instead of listening, and it's not the best way to improve your reading skills. However, there are exceptions. Oftentimes closed captioning, or just if you, again, know how to choose your sources, you can get subtitles that precisely match the audio. And so that's a great way to, at the same time, when they do match precisely, train your reading and your listening skills. And number 4, a lot of podcasts, videos, interviews, TED Talks, for instance, have transcripts available. So, again, especially when you're at an intermediate level or a lower level, reading along with a transcript as you listen to the audio is a great way to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone, reading and listening. So there you have it. 4 more ways, in total 6, to read your way to language mastery. And next video, I'm going to be answering frequently asked questions about reading. So feel free to send me your questions and your experiences. That'll help enrich that next video and that next post. Thanks a lot for tuning in. See you next time.